Alright, today I watched the movie Mute on Netflix. I just want to do a quick review on it. It looked really cool. Okay, I didn't even know this was coming out. I hadn't seen the trailer before. Usually I catch the trailers on YouTube, but I hadn't seen this one. But when I turned on the TV, I got up for work this morning at like 4 a.m., and it must have released last night because I turned on the TV and that was the first thing on the screen, right? You know, right in the front. And the trailer starts playing, and I watch it, and I was like, this looks cool. This looks really cool. It had a futuristic vibe to it. It kind of looked like Altered Carbon. And instantly, when I see something like that, I'm like, I'm going to watch this. So I watched it today at work. I had some layover time, and I decided to go ahead and watch it. I can't remember the actor's name who stars in it. Anyway, the storyline is there's this guy, and he's mute. He got in this boat accident when he was a kid, and from then on he's been mute. It's set in the future. Like I said, it looks kind of like Altered Carbon or Blade Runner. It looks like that. Has that kind of a feel to it, and so that's what excited me about it. I was really struggling to figure out what the hell was going on with the setting, right? With the time, like with what was going on in the world in this movie. I really couldn't figure it out. They're in Germany. It's the future. There's a lot of futuristic technology, but I can't figure out, like, politically what's going on. There's a lot of different immigrants. There's a lot of different people in Germany, and I don't know. They made some allusions to the fact that, like, maybe Germany was, like, a huge world power, and they were expanding. But I couldn't figure that out, and that's one thing that kind of bothered me about the movie is, like, I wanted to know why things are the way they are, but I don't really get it. But, see, the main storyline here is the guy I told you about who is mute. His girlfriend disappears. He doesn't know what happened. There's all these organized crime elements in the movie, and so you think somehow she got wrapped up in one of these, or one of these, like, sex rings, or you don't know what's going on. So that's the whole story. He's trying to figure. He doesn't even know. Like, he doesn't know anything about her outside of the fact that he loves her and they have a relationship together. But outside of that, she has a lot of secrets and he doesn't know anything about. So he's trying to find her. He's trying to figure out what happened to her, who has her, if she's alive. He's trying to track her down. So that element of the movie was pretty cool, the way he found clues. He had a lot of trouble. Something about his background, like his mother's religious beliefs or something, it said that he knew nothing about technology, which really sucks in the future. That's completely, technology driven. So he's trying to figure that out. He's trying to figure out how he can find her, even though he can't use a freaking... He could barely use a phone. Okay, so he had no idea how to use technology. On top of that, he can't speak to people. So it makes it very difficult, but he finds these creative ways to figure things out and communicate with people. And that was probably one of my favorite aspects of the movie. Gotta be honest, other than that, I wasn't impressed with the movie. It kind of dragged at times. It just... I don't know. I was expecting more, I guess, from that trailer. Shout out to whoever makes trailers. Any trailers, because nowadays trailers can make anything look amazing. But I watched this. And another thing about it that bugged me is, like, this movie, like, with the plot and the storyline and what happens in it, doesn't really need to be set in the future. Like, there was no need for it to be in the future with all this crazy technology and flying cars and whatnot. Like, it was just an added element to, like, maybe entice you to watch the movie, make it more exciting, but it didn't do that for me. Like, I love that aspect in movies, but when it fits and when there's a reason for it, it didn't really fit in this movie. I don't think you could have made the same movie without it being in the future. It could have been present day, and it would have been just as good, or it probably would have been better, to be honest, because like I said, the technology didn't fit. It felt like they were forcing it. Like, we're going to throw in this technology angle to get people to think it's a sci-fi film, but really it's not. Yeah. I will tell you, the one thing that kept me watching this movie was Paul Rudd. Paul Rudd is in this movie, and it's probably one of my favorite roles I've ever seen him play. Like, he killed this role. And his mustache, oh my god, his mustache was was epic. It was amazing. And I don't know. I really enjoyed Paul Rudd in this movie. I like Paul Rudd in pretty much everything, but you don't see him that much outside of comedy. And it's really nice to see him outside of comedy because he's a really good actor. He's a really good actor. I really enjoy Paul Rudd's movies. Antman is probably the most underrated comic book movie ever made. Like, you don't ever hear people talking about Antman, but that movie was fucking really good. It was a good Marvel flick. I'd probably put that in my top 5. I really enjoyed Antman. Anyway, Paul Rudd in this movie is amazing, dude. He's like a total dirtbag, right? But I love him. And there's a scene where he confronts a pedophile, and it is amazing. I loved it. Anyway, that's what I thought of the movie. It wasn't that great. And I had high expectations from the trailer, and then I watched it, and I was pretty let down. But Paul Rudd saved this movie for me. I finished watching it just to see the next thing that Paul Rudd would do, because every scene that he has, he steals. And every time he's on the screen, every time he interacts with another person in the movie, it's amazing. It's amazing. I love Paul Rudd. If you didn't get that by now, I love Paul Rudd. So anyway, it's whatever. This movie's like a 6, maybe 5. It's not very good. It's not very good at all. But Paul Rudd, it's fucking amazing.